We do begin with the relationship between billionaire Elon Musk, the world's richest man, and President Trump devolving into a very public feud yesterday. NBC News senior White House correspondent Garrett Haake has all the details.
The stunning public breakup.
Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if it went well anymore. I was surprised.
Just days after that lavish Oval Office send-off.
He's done a fantastic job.
So I expect to remain a friend and an advisor.
President Trump and his once top ally, Elon Musk, now in a nasty public feud.
I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
All starting when the president was asked about the former Doge leader's criticism of his so-called Big Beautiful Bill, which extends the Trump 2017 tax cuts and eliminates taxes on tips and overtime. Musk slamming it, saying it spends too much.
Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here.
The president, who recently showed off his Tesla at the White House, saying Musk's opposition began because the bill eliminates electric vehicle tax credits, which hurts Musk's business.
He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate.
Musk responding in real time on X. False. This bill was never shown to me even once. Moments later writing, whatever, keep the EV solar incentive cuts in the bill, but ditch the mountain of disgusting pork. I pressed Trump about Musk's criticism.
And this is the guy you put in charge of cutting spending. Should people not take him seriously about spending now? Are you saying this is all sour grapes?
No, he worked hard and he did a good job. And I'll be honest, I think he misses the place. People leave my administration and they love us. And then at some point, they miss it so badly, and some of them embrace it, and some of them actually become hostile. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome.
Put the signs up, put the hat on. Let's go.
All of it a sudden shift for Musk, who enthusiastically campaigned for Trump. The president suggesting he would have won in 2024 without the support of the world's richest man.
I think I would have won. Susie would say I would have won Pennsylvania easily anyway.
Minutes later, Musk firing back, writing, without me, Trump would have lost the election. Such ingratitude. The war of words escalating even further. President Trump posting, Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate, and he just went crazy. And that the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. Musk then writing, time to drop the really big bomb. Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they've not been made public. Musk offered no evidence to back up his accusation, and nothing made public has implicated Trump, who's denied any involvement in Epstein's criminal behavior. The White House responding to Musk's claim, saying it's a, quote, unfortunate episode from Elon. The president posting, I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress.
Across the board, Tesla shares.
Meanwhile, as all of this unfolded, Tesla stock plummeted, losing over 14% of its value.
Garrett Haake reporting for us there. So, Jonathan Lemire, as you know, yesterday, this was so explosive, this back and forth, that actually made a lot of people put X back onto their phones if they had deleted it many months ago. But it's worth remembering it was 1 week ago today. Last Friday, they had that very nice send-off from the Oval Office. Thank you for your service, Elon Musk. You did a great job, you and your Doge team. Now you get back and run your businesses, smiled for the cameras. And now, 6 days later, this thing just kept escalating from the policy, talking about the big, beautiful bill and Elon Musk's criticism of it, to the deeply, deeply personal.
Yeah, for one day anyway, Elon made Twitter great again. This was both inevitable, but also stunning. The speed of this was so stunning. Just how quickly it escalated yesterday. Now, these are two billionaires with giant egos who, to this point, sort of surprised a lot of observers by how well they did get along. Musk was, Trump's biggest campaign donor, then ran Doge, was even borderline co-president there for a while, even though his influence certainly had waned in recent weeks. And this clash was several weeks in the making. Yes, it's about the bill to a degree. It's about the EV mandate. It's about Trump snubbing Musk's pick to run NASA. There were some real personality conflicts there that emerged at the end. Musk and a lot of Trump's senior staff didn't get along. Trump, as well as some of Trump's cabinet members, didn't get along. And then just the stunning speed, how quickly this devolved yesterday. Trump's comments there in the Oval, disappointed, but didn't take a blowtorch to Musk either. Musk then really ramped things up on social media. And look, you can hurl insults at Donald Trump. One thing you can't do, as one of his advisors put to me yesterday, you can't claim credit for his victories. And that was the thing that really angered Trump yesterday. And then, of course, as noted, Musk only went further, suggesting at one point agreeing with a tweet that suggested that Trump be impeached, and then that Jeffrey Epstein claim as well. So there was some efforts late last night to cool things off. White House officials saying they're trying to broker a call with Musk later today. Musk tweeted that he would like to smooth things over with Trump. We'll see. But Ali Vitale, the host of Way Too Early, joins us now. I mean, this is seismic. It is. Musk, we've never seen one person have the influence that Musk did, both as a campaign donor and then as a member of Trump's administration here. And the clout, his fortune gave Trump, that sort of in that threat, don't challenge me, I have this guy's deep pockets supporting me in the background. And yet here it goes. It blows up, and doesn't just blow up, it blows up spectacularly.
But that's always how it was going to go, right? I mean, I know you and I talked to people close to the administration on Capitol Hill, and many of them were forecasting that this was not a question of if the breakup would happen, it was when. And of course, now we see that we're at that moment. The idea that it's so public, that it's literally playing out on their dueling social media platforms, it almost feels like if you wrote it, it would be too cute. But that's exactly how it's going. And I think one person asked me yesterday, as I was texting my sources, what could get worse than this? And I think we know that there's always a deeper floor here. I don't think that we've hit rock bottom, though certainly the allegations that are being cast about are absolutely jaw-dropping and stunning. But at the same time, there's also an open question legislatively here of what does this mean for a massive bill that is going to have big impacts on Americans? We're talking about healthcare. We're talking about food assistance programs. And so as much as this is entertaining, and it very much is, and the internet understood the assignment yesterday, they came up in the clutch. At the same time, I think it's also important to remember a lot of people's lives are at stake here from a government policy perspective, and these are guys that are quarreling over electric vehicle mandates. And yeah, look, I mean, I finally get a chance to do what you guys always do. I hate my ex. I mean, this is the headline of the New York Post. I mean, you're holding a paper that has just a similar one. This is entertainment, but these are two very powerful people who can have big impacts on people's lives. And I think it's important we keep that focus there, too.
And, John, Elon Musk did come back to the bill. He went after Mike Johnson again yesterday. Speaker Johnson saying this is so irresponsible. Where's the Mike Johnson of 2023 who was a fiscal hawk? Speaker Johnson responded in his own way, saying, I'm still a fiscal hawk. I think the question on a lot of people's mind, as you both just said, I don't think anyone was surprised that this relationship blew up. This did seem inevitable at some point. But why so fast? Because it felt like it was about much more than an EV mandate or a policy element of this big, beautiful bill that has Elon Musk worried about his business interests, perhaps. This did feel deeply personal. So the question a lot of people are asking is, why did Elon Musk suddenly go to 11 so quickly?
Yeah, well, there are a few things at play here. And let's start with the obvious, which is money. Not only are there things in this bill, like the EV mandate that Musk wanted, he's also been opposed to a lot of the tariffs that President Trump has put forth because that would hurt his businesses. And also, let's just think about, as someone close to Musk said yesterday to me, think about the money that Musk has put into this, not just the couple $100 million in the campaign, but as he looks at it, the money he's lost since going into the Trump administration because Tesla and other businesses have taken such a hit. And that's why one of his responses yesterday, certainly a petulant, angry one, was to maybe suggest he would scrap the Space Dragon rocket ship that working with NASA, which would potentially really cripple the American space program. He seemed to back off that late last night. But first of all, there's the money part of this, but there's also is the personality side. Musk had a few of his top lieutenants, including the administrator for NASA, get rejected from top administration posts. There were these clashes, as I mentioned a few moments ago, with White House staff and cabinet members. Trump and Musk, surprisingly, and I would say surprisingly, from senior Trump aides, they got along for the most part. Like the two men actually, despite the egos, despite their insecurities, despite their volatile natures, they did get along. But we'll see, Trump still largely stayed above the fray. He was mad at Musk, but didn't go after him personally. We'll see if that changes. Some White House aides, though, Willie, we should just note, pointed to that New York Times story that came out a week or so ago back that detailed some of Musk's drug use, suggesting this was an unstable personality. And Musk certainly lashed out in a significant way yesterday to the point that dismayed some of his allies. We will see where things are this morning. There is going to be a phone call to try to smooth things over. I wouldn't hold your breath. Maybe we'll get a ceasefire, but certainly this relationship is forever changed. It's not going to be the partnership that we saw to this point.